Show for today. The topic is the NAACP in 2008 challenges and opportunities. And earlier we spoke with Reverend Dr. Kimbrough dealing with the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People and how he became involved in the National Association. And now we have with us Reverend Andrew Wardle, a student at Tennessee State University who is also involved with the NAACP as a member of the Tennessee State University chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And of course, Reverend Wharton, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you.
And of course, let me tell you not only how delighted we are to have you, but it's seldom that we have a young man or young woman dealing with some of the critical issues that we're dealing with, but we recognize that it is the young people today who will have to deal with the issues that Dr. Kimbrough pointed out as being on the forefront in terms of the NAACP. Let's look at your background and education and some of the things that eventually brought you to the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People chapter at Tennessee State University.
Well, I was born and raised here in Nashville, Tennessee. I graduated from Christian private school, Davidson Academy, and I had gone there my whole life. I had went there my whole life, 14-year senior. And later on, when I received a calling, I wasn't sure if it was a real calling or not. I would know I was chosen to give a message, and it wasn't until later that I felt that I was truly called. But Dr. Kimbrough, who we've spoken to earlier, introduced me into the NAACP. And that's how I got involved into it in the first place. And what we really do in the NAACP as far as our church, we have NAACP church services. Sometimes they go on near Youth Day. And for instance, we have certain voting times, and we try to get everybody to vote on the same day and so forth. And one of the struggles at our church is getting more people to vote, especially the youth. Now, when I turned 18, I couldn't wait to vote because I know that voting equals voice. And, you know, Dr. Kimbrough and Pastor Bowman, our pastor, Reverend Raymond Bowman, he asked if anyone was not registered to vote. And I was embarrassed at first because I raised my hand and I was the only person in the church with my hand raised. But later on, I figured I didn't care because it needs to happen sometime or another, and I want to vote as many times as possible.
And of course, being 18 and just starting to vote is the only time that you could really vote. I mean, you might not have been registered, but the very fact that you could become involved in the process. Now, what do you think, being a young person yourself, and understanding that up until this season, I think, that most young people were not that interested in the political process, what do you think that is the reason